what advice would you have to women and men who are in the throes of disordered eating right now?
If I could like plant one seed, and I say it's a seed for the reasons I was saying before, like it might take a little bit of time to let this penny drop because food's doing so much for us in our emotional system, is that the war that many of us have with changing our eating is a false war. Like it's a proxy war. It's like not the real thing that's going on. It is a distraction. Now, it's not fully a distraction. It is true that we are fighting with ourselves, but it's not really what the fight is about. And by keeping up the fight with food, it's doing us this benefit of not seeing what the real problem is. So maybe having some curiosity about what the real war is, and it will take some of the pressure off the relationship to food and eating. Now, when I say that, I am by no means saying that you have to give up on healing your relationship to food and eating. It's a little bit like the paradox of mindfulness and detachment. Like when you can kind of step back from it a little bit, you actually give yourself more autonomy in dealing with it. But I would love people to think about the fact that diets can never work. So if you are in the direction of trying to be on some kind of diet, whether that's calories or paleo or keto, if you're doing anything that restricts what you eat or gives you a program where you don't get to use your own instincts, you will fight back. Like it's surprising for me that people don't realize that it's human nature to fight back. If you are being imposed on in any way, you will fight back. So the whole diet mentality, it's just such a perfect distraction because you will keep having this struggle forever. And I read in a book that a man had a great clinic, I think his name was Bob Schwartz, that he taught intuitive eating to people to show them how to lose weight. And then a lot of people wanted to gain weight. And so he said, I have a program for you to gain weight. And people would say, oh, I can't gain weight. I want to come to your program. What could you be doing differently? Because I've tried my whole life to gain weight. And he would make them sign a waiver that if they gained too much weight, they wouldn't hold him responsible. And they would laugh and say, that could never happen to me because I've tried so long to gain weight. And what he would do is he would put them on a 3-day diet. They would lose weight, but then they would gain it all back. And he'd say, well, I want you to keep the weight off. Let's just see. And then they would diet again, lose less weight, but gain more back. And so he put them on the cycle. And over time, they had an eating issue. And that is what happens to all of us, I think, when we think that maybe by controlling our food, we control the environment. Like I can't control this big thing that's going on, but if I control my food, I have a foothold in something. But what we learn about psychedelics is, and the world and spirituality, is you can't control. You have to turn toward and allow and mindfulness and let it be there and let whatever pain that we've gone through that's unfortunate, let it complete. We can't push this river up. We have to open in support with all the possible resources we can, because we were small and we couldn't have handled it before, but we can now with community, with medicine. We can allow something to finish and then we can be reconnected to ourselves.